This league, a lot of expectations on him.
Well, man, I just think he has a lot of talent. Now he's still very young. I'm gonna get the opportunity to work out with him out in Las Vegas, over at the academy. Just bringing a physical presence to him. I think if he can get that, get a little bit more toughness to him, he's gonna be dominant because he's really a key factor to our team. I mean, he is a guy that can really change a whole dimension of the game by being 7 foot tall, being able to shoot the three, put the ball on the floor. If we can get him to really bang a little bit more in the low post, he's going to be a tough cover.
What happened last year with Boston, the way they just came around after 1 year, is that kind of in the back of everyone's mind when you look at the season? Because they just turned it around so dramatically, and your team has made a dramatic turnaround in terms of personnel move. Do you see that too?
Well, I think personally for me, when I looked at this situation, and I looked at the entire year, I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was the sacrifice that all three of the guys made, and also the role players made. And in this league, you got to have that. You can't think about yourself and you can't think about your numbers. Anytime you step onto that court and put that jersey on, you got to think about your teammates. And that's one thing that really stuck out to me. They made the ultimate sacrifice. When one guy wasn't going, another guy picked it up. But one thing that they didn't let down on any given night was the defense, and that's going to be the key to our team.
Do you see those ingredients here?
Absolutely. I think they have great character type of guys. They have a great team, obviously, as far as the physical ability. I think just adding me, definitely takes the bar up defensively a little bit more because I like to take charges. I like to block shots. I like to alter shots. And I think that's one thing I will bring to the table that they didn't quite have last year.
What do you define as special? You've been to the NBA Finals. You've been on 60-win teams. What's special in your eyes?
Well, I haven't quite made it to the NBA Finals yet. Hopefully, this is the year we get there. But special is special. I think is a year where a team comes together. You create an atmosphere in your city and with the people that follows you in the manner where you get that feel where you're doing some great things. Pushing the needle to what you expect. Coming into training camp. You got to really sit down and make that evident of what you want to do and continue the game plan. And once the season starts, you can get that feel that you have something special. And I think that tone is going to be set from day one. From training camp onto the preseason onto the regular season. And it's hard to really explain to you guys. And if you play sports, you know what I'm talking about. What that special feeling is. And we knew in Indiana when we had the best record and we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals from day one when we sat down in the first meeting October 1st that this was our chance and we knew what we had to do to get to that level and we did it and that's what we had to do. We're going to hold each other accountable for all our actions on and off the court and we're going to try to make a run for this thing.
You've been a franchise player since you arrived in Indiana. You've been the center of the franchise. Here, Chris occupies that same role. Whose team is this, in your view? Is this Chris's team? Is this both of your team?
Well, and I talked to Coach Mitchell and Mr. Colangelo about it. This is Chris' team. I'm here to help him lead this team. He's been a centerpiece, for quite some time, and he's a hell of a talent. I'm not into whose team this is. I'm not into that. I'm into success. I've been through some really rough times over the last 4 years, and to get this opportunity, it makes you just want to do whatever necessary for this team to be successful. And I know I'm gonna hear that question a million other times, but just to set the record straight, this is his team, and we're gonna do this thing together as a team.
When you've been an all-star, when you've been that level of player, and it all comes crashing down the way it did, not only with your body, but with the way the Indiana organization went from an elite team to just imploding all the way through, how does that change your approach? How does that change you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not 50 years old. I'm gonna set that straight. I played on one leg for 2.5 years. And I just didn't want to tell anybody about the knee injury, and it just gradually got worse. And if you look at the numbers are what they are. I've been one of the most efficient power forwards in the game. Who's from 2000 2007. I'm not really concerned about the past anymore. I'm looking for. Today is the day I was going to close a chapter to my career in Indiana. This is a new life for me. I have full trust in myself that I'm going to do the things necessary to get back to a level of being, one of the best, players in the league. And I can do that. And it may not necessarily equals up to numbers. I don't know what the numbers may be personally for myself, but to me, it's all about this team. And doing the things necessary to get this team to championship level. Now, how people view me doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter as long as at the end of my career they view me as a champion.
Bosch said with a bit of a smile, he's the finesse guy, you're the physical grinder. Is that the way you see it too?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to bang. I like contact, and he's a guy that's really quick, more finesse type of guy, and that's what you need. You give a team different looks, and I think the most impressive part, when you talk about me and Bosch playing together, that one of us is going to be on the court at all times. It doesn't give a team, time to adjust. When the player goes out, and that's what you get. With most teams, when you got dominant power forwards or center, he has to go out of the game at some point. And they're going to come in with somebody else with a lesser talent. But with our team now, we have we have Andre, we have myself, we have Chris. I mean, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to deal with.
Anybody else? Just have one more thing to add. I'd be remiss not to publicly, thank Chuck Swirsky, who's not here today for the first time in a while, who is no longer with us, going to be joining the Chicago Bulls. And also welcome, but thank him and say goodbye to him officially, but also to welcome Matt Devlin, who was announced today as the new play-by-play man for the Toronto Raptors. So welcome, Matt. Okay, want to break it down? Thanks.
We will now have a photo opportunity.